dinner. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Welcome to the Blind Rage Podcast. This is Brandon Ford, and I'm very happy to introduce a new voice to the podcast all the way from Provincetown, Massachusetts. We have Austin Tyler. Say hi, Austin.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks so much for having me, Brandon.
I'm really excited to have you. And so we're going to be doing what is considered one of the worst movies ever made, and that is 1990's Troll 2. And you're a big fan of this one?
You know, I'm a huge fan of this movie just because it really harkens to performers who are putting their all into it, even if it's not great. And living in Provincetown, that's absolutely a credo we can get behind. Mm-hmm. A lot of our shows will actually write mistakes into it, or we kind of hope something goes wrong, because there are circumstances where, yes, things will go unplanned, but there's nothing quite so great as watching a performer bounce back in a live show here in P-Town. But in a film, I love to watch an actor absolutely bomb and then still make a decent life for themselves down the road. And this, if any movie, will help illustrate that most of the cast ended up pretty okay. Maybe not all of them, but we can talk about that a little later.
Yes. But I want you to tell everybody everything that you do in Provincetown. But before we get into that, I just want to get the plugs quickly out of the way. Mm-hmm. I would like to encourage everyone to check out my books in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle editions on Amazon.com by going to Amazon and typing in Brandon Ford. There you'll also find my author page, which you can subscribe to in order to receive email notifications whenever I have a new release. If you don't already, please follow me on Instagram at writer Brandon Ford. You can also follow me on both Twitter and Letterboxd at Brandon Ford. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, suggestions, recommendations, feel free to email me directly at blindragepod81@gmail.com. Please don't forget to stop by the Blind Rage Podcast official Facebook page to like and subscribe. And last but most importantly, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the Blind Rage Podcast on your chosen podcasting platform. Do you have any social media you want to plug before you get into your...
Sure. I don't have any official products, as it were, at the moment. I do have a couple of writing projects down the road. I do have a couple of show projects down the road, but no official business handles. If you're so inclined, you can find me on Instagram at BeauSpec. That's BeauSpec. And of course, if ever you're in Provincetown or hear the name Mackenzie, then I'm probably somehow, some way related to the project. She is my roommate as well as my co-producer. And we even have a project coming 3 months from now that we're pretty stoked for.
Well, by the time this is posted, that'll probably be up. So
it'll be in the past. And then we did an amazing project late April, which was lots of fun and go. Truly mind-blowing.
So for the uninitiated, what do you do in Provincetown for your LGBTQ audience?
Well, we've actually, I've lived out here in Provincetown for a little over 8 years now. And it's a huge gay travel destination. Lots of people love to come here, crazy crowds in the summer. But if you're going to be a year-rounder, you have to plan on doing a little bit of everything. So my first visitations to town were in the form of vacations. I would come up here with a group of friends every year for Bear Week. And before long, I found myself just falling in love with the place. I mean, what better place on earth can you be yourself? And as long as you're not harming yourself or other people, it's supported and encouraged. There's no real worrying about matching with the neighbors or keeping up with the Joneses, because the population out here will support you in your endeavors and pursuits, no matter what they are, as long as they're not harmful. That said, when I first got to town, I ran a guest house and a garbage business simultaneously for 5 years, after which I worked for a couple years in one of the dispensaries that are popping up here in Provincetown. As of late, I have been enjoying the fun and whimsy of fun employment, which is actually kind of a nice break in the off-season. Again, we're very much a summer town, so May through about the end of October, there's lots going on. And after October is the quiet season where we get to relax, reflect, and enjoy some quiet. Oh, I should probably mention the other things I do too, huh?
Yes. I was waiting for that.
Sorry, I just wanted to, keep you excited. I also work closely with Mackenzie, the drag queen, who has her own production company, and we do things like hosting RuPaul's Drag Race weekly, and we've been doing this for about 4 years now. And it's a little bit like this podcast. People come to see the show, they'll sit down, and we'll drop stupid remarks and have little contests, and Mackenzie will do a number at the end. But in the end, it's really just a matter of letting people feel comfortable. So if a crowd of people is wanting more out of life, wanting more excitement, wanting more weirdness, but maybe aren't ready to be the ones to execute it, then you can be damn sure that Mackenzie and I will be the ones to say the crazy thing or act the fool to make sure that everyone in the room is having a good time. A lot of times, drag queens can be a little bit mean, a little bit petty, a little bit hurtful. And when I met Mackenzie, she really was none of those things. So I decided, hey, I could be the rude little gargoyle that is at her side being the mean one. And what do you know? It's a formula that took off here. So we can be spotted around town hosting Drag Race, hosting bingos for the local charities. And we actually are back in the swing of doing an annual cannabis-themed variety drag show. That's the big project coming in April 2022, but by the time you hear this, it will have been passed. So I'm just here to screw with your mind in terms of time travel like Donnie Darko,
Where in Provincetown can people see the RuPaul's Drag Race? What do you call it? A watch
the viewing, the hangout, the obnoxious people with mics over a TV show. Yeah, that's us. These days, we're hosting it at the Provincetown Brewing Company, which is an amazing team of folks. They came to town, they took over, and they really, really have the best intentions and energy behind everything they do. They actually have a selection of craft beers named for different places and people in Provincetown. They contribute to every charity they can get anywhere near, and it's just a really spirited, high-energy group. So when they realized that we were available, they said, get the hell in here. We'll even throw dinner at you. And so it's been a match made in heaven ever since we got there.
And that's where you've been for the past 4 years?
We've been hosting for the past, I'm going to say about 8 months over there at the Provincetown Brewing Company. We were at another location before, and it was good while it was good, but it was time to move on. So we're there at the Provincetown Brewing Company, just friggin' loving it.
Have you ever met Her Majesty RuPaul?
I haven't met RuPaul. However, a lot of the Drag Race queens are decent friends of mine. There is a tendency for these queens to make their way to Provincetown to actually test shows. So, I consider Raja a good friend of mine. There is other queens that I know, such as Benda La Creme, Jinx Monsoon. I got a picture with Bianca Del Rio, who scared the ever-loving shit out of me when I met her. And then Trixie Mattel, despite the sassy attitude she throws, is actually an incredible sweetheart in real life.
I've been a long time fan of RuPaul's, and since he first started his music career, and I used to love the talk show on VH1 with Michelle Visage.
I mean, have you seen
fun.
her recently on, who's the British guy with the talk show?
Graham Norton? Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is this,
haven't.
oh my God, there is this one interview where she talks about having 5 or 10 things ready to say at all times. And as funny as the interview is, it's actually one of the smartest things I've ever seen displayed on television.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as you've seen and heard the shows, a lot of the times with Rue, it'll be a sassy comeback that seemingly comes out of nowhere. For example, she'll walk into a restaurant and the person will go to seat her and she says, "Oh, come this way." And she'll respond with, out of nowhere, "I'll be the judge of that." And it really kind of destabilizes the moment, but keeps it light and fun, which is something I can definitely get behind. But I'll have to send you a link later, but it's RuPaul on Graham Norton's show talking about canned responses, and it is just absolutely genius.
Have you read Rue's book?
Oh, I haven't, and I feel like a bad gay for not having read the book.
Shame on you.
I know. Shame the hell out of me. I deserve it, and it's kind of a thing for me, so it's cool.
Do you like Rue's music?
You know, I do, and what I like is that as she's been producing music, it's staying current with the times, which I think is a really smart evolutionary thing for her career to do. Mm-hmm. Many drag queens historically will release music about themselves or about their experience, and it's great. It'll stay relevant for its period of time, but Rue has had a long enough career, spanning decades at this point, where she's paying attention to what's going on as things change in time. And that's actually, I think, lends a really intelligent heft to her music, that she's not just singing because it's a paycheck. There's actually some decent messages, and those messages have evolved over time.
Yes.
And I love that about her. So the music, it can stay. And she supports other artists, too. If you've seen her collaborations with Todrick Hall, I mean, it's just a fun time.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember if you told me. Did you see Star Booty?
No, but was it you that did Star Booty, or somebody did recently?
I was telling you that I posted a commentary for it. It was one of my solo commentaries.
Well, clearly I'll have to catch up, because it has to be amazing considering the content of the movie.
Yeah, the movie kind of disappeared. The DVD's out of print. It's not on Blu-ray, and if you want to buy a used copy, it's kind of pricey.
Well, did you? It took 25 years for the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous to make its way to streaming.
Wow.
25 freaking years. It finally hit Hulu, I want to say about 2 years ago. But hopefully they'll wise up, and the historical moves of crazy drag queens getting into it will be unearthed and put on a future streaming service, as they all should be.
Since we're talking all things drag, I have to ask, are you a fan of Divine?
You know, if there was a drag queen I was close to in terms of how I hold myself, Divine's not far from it. She actually has a big following here in Provincetown, partially because John Waters himself has a summer house out here. Yeah, they say you're not really a local until John Waters has almost hit you with his bike. Which
Fucking
is
awesome.
true. I have a few friends he's accidentally clipped. But I feel like I might have a better level because I saw him buying Rice-a-Roni. He's from Baltimore and he's eating the San Francisco treat. It's a disgusting plot twist. I'm quite alarmed.
Did you talk to him?
Oh, I'll say hi, John, and all this, but as I understand it, nothing makes his skin crawl more than when people fan out in front of him. Just talk to the guy.
Really?
Oh yeah. So, there's some people that sort of appreciate, oh my God, it's you, and I've always wanted to meet you. And as I've heard it through the grapevine, that's a huge turnoff for Mr. Waters. So if you can keep it a little more casual around him, he'll, respond in kind, and he's friendly enough. We've had a couple of just quick chats, nothing of any real weight or significance, but he's here, he's queer, and so are the rest of us.
What's your favorite John Waters movie?
Female Trouble, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the one where she ends up just like, who wants to die for art and mutilating herself at the end of the movie. It made no sense to me, but somehow it's just such a stinking charmer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the earlier, crazier ones, for sure.
Kind of my speed.
Absolutely. Speaking of crazy movies, I think we should get into Troll 2.
I think that's a capital idea.
I'm not sure where this is streaming right now, but I would be willing to bet it's on YouTube. So if you want to watch along, you're more than welcome to. If not, you can just listen to us banter. And yeah, so as per usual, we are going to begin with a 3 count. Austin, if you're ready.
Oh, ready and willing.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. I wasn't used to people joining me for the 3, 2, 1 count.
Haha, plot twist, got you, sucker. Sorry about that.
Peter was a courageous boy.
So, when did you first see this?
Okay, so here's the thing, is I didn't really know this movie existed until I stumbled across a documentary about it called Best Worst Movie.
Uh-huh.
And so Best Worst Movie is kind of a 15 or 20 year follow-up as to the cast, the reason this movie was created, what are they doing now? And I was just so freaking charmed by the documentary, I had to see the original content. And I feel like if I had tried to watch this movie without seeing the documentary, I would have a much different response to it. Because if you were to come across this on streaming, it looks like, I don't know, Princess Bride if you got it off Wish. Like, it's just, it makes no sense. But when you get that sort of loving vibe of the way the documentary was made, then here you go. You'd totally be into it.
Right.
But I like that this film gives you just no preamble. There's no tickling. They just stick it in, and you're in the middle of this whole, like, discount Willow situation. I don't know, but I mean, I'm loving these little costumes, the little headpieces. Rando grandpa walking the grandson through it. I mean, why the hell not? Just get nuts, It was what is this, 1990?
It was shot in 89, released in 90, yeah.
I have my questions as to whether it actually ever should have been shot, but why not get weird with it, right?
So you've only seen this sometime within the past 10 years or so?
Oh, I've watched it a few times in the past. Since the documentary came out, I don't know if it was fresh.
Oh, 09.
I don't remember when the documentary came out, but after that, I had to watch it, and then I've been known to subject friends and loved ones to my horrible movie choices just to watch them hate me. Because, hey, at least it's a form of attention. Oh, man, these costumes are precious. He's wearing what looks like a potato sack fashioned into a Legend of Zelda-style hunting cap. It's not cute.
No. Not something that you would see at one of the Provincetown shows, I would assume.
Oh, well, no, that's about our grade of stuff. No, I'm kidding. There are drag queens who would smack me dead for saying that. Right here we have this, the grandfather is telling the grandson a story, and there's this creepy princess with the worst makeup freckle job I have ever seen on a human.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bane of contention for a lot of people.
Oh man, it's like somebody ran at her with a magic marker and just pop, 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 pop. Those are freckles now. Act.
That look that deceived him.
What do you think that green stuff is?
I don't want to know.
It was a goblin in disguise.
I mean, I know it's probably just pistachio pudding or something, but that doesn't help. It looks effing horrendous.
Whenever and however they want.
You're making a mistake.
Well, as it said in Best Worst Movie,
They could.
this
What kind of fairy tale is it?
went straight to video, but it was shown a lot on HBO when it first came out in the early 90s. So that's when I first saw it, around 90, 91. And being that I am a horror devotee from way back, if there was ever anything that sounded like a horror film that I would see in the TV guide, I would just instinctively record it.
Yeah.
And I recorded this,
The goblin's favorite
not
food.
knowing, of course, what the hell I was getting into.
You were recording a life lesson.
Exactly. And I'm almost positive that, well, what I used to do as a kid, I used to record like 4 movies onto a VHS tape in EP mode. And I'm almost positive that the first movie on that tape, it was When a Stranger Calls Back.
Oh, that was a creepy one, though.
Oh, yes. It's a movie I love. Still to this day, it still creeps me out.
Well, that's with
And it
the
was,
one eye and the throwing the voice thing, right?
yes.
Oh God, there's something about that one that's just a little too feasible, maybe a little too possible, but that one genuinely did make me uncomfortable.
Well, a lot of it, too, has to do with Jill Schoelen's performance, because she's very believable in that first 20-minute sequence.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, that was the first movie on the tape, I'm pretty sure. So I used to watch that regularly, and a lot of the time what I would do as a kid is I would just, if I wanted to watch something on a particular tape, I would just put the movie on and let the tape run if I was doing other things around my bedroom, or I just didn't feel like getting up to turn it off. So I watched Troll 2 more than I probably should have.
Well, so did you find it to be bad back then, or was it
Yes.
good?
Oh, yes. It
Okay.
was bad. Yes, I thought I recognized it as a pretty bad movie. Yes.
Ooh, the sexy girl scene.
Oh, yes.
I love the random cuts of just random crap around her room, like lifting a weight, a horse, lifting a weight, Johnny Depp, lifting a weight, a hat, like.
Something tells me they didn't get clearance for a lot of this stuff that is shown on the walls.
Oh, like Tom Cruise and Johnny Depp?
Yeah, and there's like, aren't there some baseball players and posters of bands or something like that?
Yeah,
in,
there was a
Joshua's
banner
bedroom?
in his room referring to Daryl Strawberry.
That's great. Okay. See you, Jeff.
All right, so confession
There's
time.
the great George Hardy.
Yeah, well, that's my next question. Did you find him attractive in this movie?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
don't
he's
know.
a good-looking guy. But when I was a kid, no.
Oh man, George Harvey. Even though you're on the verge of a pseudo mullet, we can talk. And he's a dentist in real life, so you know he's got money. That's cool.
We'll be living like
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's got great teeth, because that's a big thing for me. Because he does have great teeth.
Well, he better with that job.
Yeah.
You get access to all the good stuff for free, and you have bucked up teeth. That's a problem.
I remember when they in the Best Worst Movie documentary, when they were introducing him at one of the showings for Troll 2, somebody referred to him as the rich man's Craig T. Nelson, and I was like, holy shit, he does look like Craig T. Nelson.
That's brilliant. Except better than Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, I would say so.
Although, let's talk about the other person, the woman playing the wife. Oh man, that poor lady went Shelley Duvall crazy.
She did. She did.
I mean, in Best Worst Movie, there were signs like "You're being recorded and I own a gun. Think twice before coming to my house." I mean, I don't know what the hell happened to her after this movie, but jeez, it was rough goings for her from then on.
Well, it was also the fact that she was speaking of this movie as if it were good. That there was that. And
that was your sign that she was crazy. She said the movie was good.
Well, at first, yes. And then the topper was she compared it to Casablanca.
Oh. I can't tell if that's like bad judgment or a hate crime.
So she said that upon revisiting the movie, she felt it harkened back to movies like Casablanca with these wonderful character studies and these amazing performances, and she was being genuine the entire time. And I mean, you don't want to laugh at someone like that, but it's quite clear that there something definitely went wrong after the production of the movie.
Oh, no doubt.
And then it was even more evident when she decided to recreate the supposed sounds that she was hearing from her neighbors late at night, which were akin to like some kind of deranged hyena. And but it was good that they at least got her for the documentary. They didn't get credence, I don't think.
Like they didn't go far enough into what actually happened to her? Or?
No, I don't think they mentioned her at all. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen Best Worst Movie, but I'm pretty sure that she wasn't involved. I don't know what happened to her. But I also found it funny that the director, whose name is escaping me because it's very, very Italian, which I should know because I'm quite Italian myself. But he pulled the full-on Tommy Wiseau in that he said, "Oh no, this was supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be silly. It's supposed to be slapstick. You're supposed to laugh at it. No. You were trying to make a genuine horror film, and you just didn't know what the hell you were doing."
Well, it's tricky like that. I mean, in a way, this is horror to any film student or anybody that takes filmmaking seriously. I mean, maybe he's just brilliant and far above our level.
Oh, no.
I know. I was hoping you wouldn't fall for that BS. Now, we just missed a little section of the film that I absolutely love, is when she knees him in the nuts and he goes, "Oh my God, what are you trying to do? Turn me into a homo?" And,
yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
Well, neither did the cast or the director or anybody. And a lot of people get a little up in arms because they feel it's homophobic. But isn't being a gay guy taking a knee to the groin pretty constantly up until you're about dead? On a metaphorical level, I think so.
Well, there are some not very gay friendly there are moments here, but at the same time, there's also some pretty in-your-face gay subtext with like the scene with the friends that are lying in bed together in the RV, and it comes across as very, very gay.
No, it's only gay if the balls touch.
Oh.
I love how she introduces it. Sing that song that I love so much. Row, row, row your boat. It's not that big of
Yeah.
a challenge, Toots. Come on.
No, it's the most public domain song that you could possibly get. It might as well have been London Bridges.
Well, it's one thing the director can't get sued for in terms of what he used in his film. So,
This is
count your
true.
wins.
This is true.
Now, did they ever identify what state this family lived in or what state Nilbog was located in?
I believe it's supposed... Well, it was shot in Utah, and I believe that's where it's supposed to be.
Gotcha.
It's gotta be there somewhere. Just look closer to it.
Nilbog. I love that name so much.
But it's just a speck. Are you sure it's full of beautiful girls?
I remember when I was in high school and such, and it was nary a time that I actually met someone in class who had actually seen this. But when I did, I did say recently on another commentary that I didn't have an appreciation for bad movies until I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, bad movies were just bad. And if I did meet someone who had seen this, they pretty much saw it the same way I did, in that it was just a bad movie that was just nonsensical, stupid, and poorly made. There wasn't any, fanning out like you see in Best Worst Movie, where people watch it multiple times a day and see Troll 2 as some kind of religion, or watching it as a religious experience. And what I also was saying in another commentary was, I don't see how movies like Troll 2 and like The Room, just for a couple of examples, are paired with the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is actually a really good movie. But for some reason, they have like the same... Well, there have been double bills with Rocky Horror and Troll 2. I don't get that.
I could get down with Troll 2. There's some of the actors, some of the storytelling. Like, I can't really blame any of the actors for their film, for their work. The director,
No, I
needs
don't.
to take the heat for that, 100%. But
Yes.
I mean, some of these characters, they're trying their best, and it's funny. I've been going through a little bit of a revelation lately. In that Mackenzie and I get on stage, we do our silly talkback thing, and a lot of what we say, the jokes don't land or the references aren't understood. And I saw this post that kind of likens that sort of comedy or that sort of performance to the Muppets. The fact is, Kermit's not a great host. Fozzie can't tell a joke. Miss Piggy can't sing. But these folks love what it is that they're doing, whether or not the final product is any good. And that's kind of what created the fan base for the Muppets.
That is fucking brilliant.
They just love what they're doing, even if it's crap. And so I think it's that sort of spirit, which is relatively new in the world, that is making its way into people who follow or ascribe to cult films.
Also, you forgot one of the biggest ones.
Oh, what's that?
The Swedish Chef can't cook.
Well, if he was quick enough to catch the things and kill them, then I'm sure he could. But no, you're dead right. Like, they have these jobs, and none of them can successfully do their jobs. But damn it if they're not having fun trying, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of that spirit that drives these second looks to garbage movies that are suddenly finding these fans. Although I'm with you on this, I don't think it's fair to put Rocky Horror in the same sort of level as this. And it's funny you mentioned The Room, because that was the only other movie that I was angry at my friend for weeks for making me watch. I was so mad. That movie was so horrific. I'm like getting angry again thinking about it. That movie was awful.
Now remember, we're the farmer.
Well,
We're country people.
The Room has come up on the podcast before, and as I've said then, the The movie The Disaster Artist is fine, but the book is so much more entertaining.
Interesting.
What went on behind the scenes and during the making of the movie, prior to the movie, after the movie, Tommy Wiseau's life, it's just so unbelievably fascinating. It's one of my favorite books, and I've read it several times.
This is not something I expected to hear ever in my life, so thank you for this brand new bit of knowledge.
Oh yes, but the movie, no, I find it painful, and I don't get all the love for it. I mean, I can kind of with Troll 2, okay, I can see it. It's not one of my personal so bad it's good movies, but I can see why people do enjoy it. But with The Room, I don't see it as having any sort of redeeming value. It's just Tommy Wiseau jerking off.
Yeah,
it's a total vanity project.
There's certain, storytellers who happen to have a bigger budget than perhaps they should be allowed.
That's true. Speaking of which, this was only made for $100,000.
I mean, this scene right here, I love it when the family is, they're switching off. Is this where wife swap comes from? And I'm bringing up wife swap.
I'm just going to say yes.
I'm bringing it up as a passive swipe because my roommate really likes to watch the show to remind them that most people outside of our queer little world are hugely, hugely problematic. If ever you want to just be really angry for a couple hours, that's a great show to watch. Don't know why I went on this tangent, but here we are. Just the family house swapping thing. Like, I feel like they don't know the family that they're swapping with. Like, I don't want to be in your house.
No, they don't. Well, I don't know if it was said. Because granted, it has been a while since I've sat through this from front to back, and generally I would, in preparation for a commentary, but this I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I recorded a commentary for Pieces recently.
Oh, jeez.
And that, I barely made it out alive. But I did listen to it in preparation for the commentary. This one, I was like, I can't subject myself to any more self-torment. But what I was going to say was, I don't know if it's said, but the whole reason for this experiment, I suppose we'll call it, is because the George Hardy character wants to be a farmer.
Oh,
so he found this family who were willing to switch. I guess this family had never lived in a suburban atmosphere, and it's like trying to see how the other half lives, I suppose. I don't know, but I don't think they knew what kind of program, how they found each other. I don't think any of that is explained.
We'll call it Craigslist.
Sure.
Oh my God, one of the best lines of this movie is coming. And frankly, I feel like this kid solves problems like I do. When in doubt, whip it out and piss on everything.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, I've been single a very long time now, and that's just how it is. Let's see. Although, contrary to popular belief, I am, in fact, housebroken, so don't worry about that.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, 6 weeks now. Woo! Now, I mean, I appreciate that the food was left out for their enjoyment, but this entire table looks gnarly.
I know. I don't remember anything ever looking remotely
here goes,
appetizing.
and everything goes in the trash.
Oh, Daddy, please! Don't hit him, Michael. Please don't hit him.
Don't hit him.
It's what he deserves.
Oh.
I mean, isn't the sexy teenage girl supposed to be like remotely likable?
Very sensitive.
You would think.
Because she's just...
Maybe...
Do you see this writing?
Maybe
Do you know what it means?
teenage girls in Italy are cunts as well.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
Can't piss on hospitality.
Daddy.
Tighten my belt by one loop so I don't feel hunger pains. And your sister and mother will have to do likewise.
You can tell
You want to get
he is trying.
You don't like the choice of this
This
house
poor
priority
guy.
by going on a hunger strike? Well, I'll accept the challenge.
But, you know, I mean, how exciting is it for some folks, hey, do you want to be in a movie? And you're like, sure. And they have no idea the level of the project they're involved in. They have no background for it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody showed up to an open cattle call to be extras, and they're like getting the leads, and George had no acting experience at all.
Right, and for
He
somebody
just did this as for fun.
And for somebody who doesn't know better, wouldn't that be a thrilling thing to be told, you know what? We liked you so much, you should be the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd go for it, and I can't even be mad at the poor guy, so...
No, you can't be mad at George. You can be mad at some of the other actors.
Ooh, an RV full of twinks, but let's not be homos, okay.
No.
Don't be a pain in the neck, Arnold. We just got here.
Meanwhile, you got short shorts here in the yellow shirt, who...
I'm going outside.
The shorts cut off, like, at his vagina. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, girl, come on now. You know you the gay one.
How much you want to bet they just finished this circle jerk?
I mean, why do you think he's smoking? Oh, man, everybody had a mullet in those days.
Not me.
You're like, nope, count me out. I want to go on record, not my fault.
Yes, I will not take any responsibility for the mullets.
See, here's the thing. So he's chasing her through the woods, and her clothes are all torn up, and she looks scared. Don't chase after her. Run with her. There is some scary shit nearby.
Or run in the other direction. Go back to the RV.
Yeah, listen, if you can put a locking door between yourself and whatever got her messed up, you're probably better off.
Yeah, one would think.
Who are you?
Who are you? Are you one of the monsters?
I'm
Now,
one of the monsters, but I could be.
You're human.
I don't want to know. I was looking at the Wikipedia page prior to recording, and it said, and I had never heard this before, that the movie was shot or written and shot, I guess, under the title Goblins. And that was what I assumed.
I'll take care of him.
But I didn't know that for sure because the director really didn't say anything to that effect in the documentary. And I just love how during the Q&A at the screening that he attended, somebody asked him, why is it called Troll 2 and there aren't any trolls in the movie? And he just acted like he didn't understand. Get the fuck out of here. You knew exactly what you were being asked. He was totally playing, oh, I don't speak of the English card. But he knew. And he could have just said, because this was one of the things, the only things that was not his fault. It was the fault of the distributor who decided to change the title to cash in on a familiar movie, which wasn't even all that successful. So I don't even know what that was about, but yeah, so that was the fault of the distributor.
Dirty confession, I kind of love the original Troll movie.
Really?
I kind of do, only because this little girl who is actually the troll in disguise, just acting like this evil little old man thing. I don't know, it does something for me. I love evil little kids.
Well, I'm with you on that.
And plus, it's the first time we see Julia Louis-Dreyfus in her professional career, I believe.
No. Well, it might have been like one of her first movies or something, but I think she was on SNL before that.
Oh, geez. Leave it to comedy to beat out horror.
Or around the same time.
All right, so you're about to see the best actress that's ever actressed in your life.
Oh, yes. Are we quite certain that she's not a drag queen?
I mean, frankly, I mean, the thing is, she's clearly theater trained.
Yeah, that's the consensus.
Yeah, very clearly, she knows how to hit a pose, how to hit a voice, how to physically emote. She might have listened a little too hard when they said go for big, because she has more theater in her left pinky than all that exists in London's West End. I mean, this woman is all the theater on earth.
Well, as I said before, I took 4 years of drama in high school, and I did 2 shows a year, and I was a shitty actor. But nevertheless, I enjoyed it. And the very first thing I remember learning in drama freshman year was our teacher, who was not a very good teacher or director. But one of the first things I learned was to, as he called it, play to the balcony.
Yep.
And that is what she's doing. Only there is no balcony.
No, you just can't see it in the camera. It's 6 miles away.
Oh. She's playing to the critics on the Muppets.
It's a balcony 6 counties away.
It is a concentration of
Oh, that crap on her teeth. So I used to, I've worked in haunted houses for a long time. And it's this gross slime that they put on your teeth to make them look rotted.
Oh.
Ooh, pardon me. Hairball. Ooh, excuse me. And, yeah, the stuff is just gnarly.
Did you dress up as any specific villain or just like someone ghoulish?
Oh, see, sorry, a little bit of a coughing fit over here. Honestly, it was just sort of, you show up to the haunt and they tell you where you are that night and you just do it. Excuse me. Oh. I've done... oh, God. Traditional haunted houses, hay rides, you name it.
Now, let me ask you this. Has anyone you've ever jumped out and scared hit you?
A few times, but a lot of the times you do it because it's worth the risk. So, if you're more of a challenging person about it, you'll find the biggest, toughest looking guy and go after him. Oh Christ, she's all green and slimy now. Yeah, so a lot of folks will, you know, they'll go for little kids or they'll go for the teenage girls, and I mean, that's all fun and stuff, but to go after the tougher to scare folks is a lot more fun for me.
I've heard that it's pretty commonplace to get hit.
Well, I mean, I don't remember being specifically hit. But, you know, you're putting people in an environment where they get to experience fear. And, you know, there are those folks, you know, if I were to walk into a haunt, I know that I put money down to be frightened. That is what I want from the people in this house. And so if you can get me to jump or startle or scream, then immediately after that, I just start cracking up because they did their job and I wanted that rush of adrenaline. Oh, one sec. Best line ever. Oh my God! God, that kid's got some lungs on him, huh?
No.
But no, with the haunts, it's just, like, if I go and I get frightened, it's because I know what I'm walking in for. A lot of people will go because they think they like to be frightened, or they think they're tougher than they actually are, and overreact. You know, if your immediate fear reaction is to punch whatever it is that's in front of you, you probably shouldn't go to a haunt attraction. Now, I want to know what music video she's dancing for right here. I feel like she's not getting cast on Janet Jackson's latest dance tour. That's for damn sure.
No, this is not Rhythm Nation. But getting back to Credence, I always thought it was hilarious that she claims to have been from Stonehenge.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it only heightens the stupidity of the writer-director team who don't know that Stonehenge is just a historical landmark and not a place inhabited by people. It's not even a little hamlet.
Well, yeah, it's inhabited by goblins, obviously.
Oh, well, that's... Okay. All right, you got me there. I hate to say this, but I did kind of get slight pedophilic vibes between Grandpa Seth and Joshua when I used to watch this, because they were a little too close.
Well, I mean, at least the benefit is that Grandpa Seth is dead.
That's true.
So, no hands on no kids. We love that.
Yes.
And yeah, Grandpa Seth doesn't look remotely related to either the father or the mother.
No.
So, I mean, there is reasonable basis to question every element of the family relationships here. Oh my God, his pajama collar is popped.
I'm not sleeping in this
Oh,
Yes.
gosh, it was 1989.
Yeah, you better style that thing.
I'm not sleeping here. I'll sleep.
He probably just took off his slap bracelet.
Yeah, he's using it as a cock ring right now. That's why.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh my God.
Don't wake mommy and daddy up again. We're busy.
Grandpa's are you here?
Now, okay, you almost made me lose my train of thought.
That's what I aim to do.
I was going to say that of all the people in the documentary, I think the actor who played Grandpa Seth was the one who I felt most sorry for, because it seems like he has a true passion for acting, and he really wanted to do a good job, and he wants to continue to act, and I think this is the only movie he's ever done, and for whatever reason, he doesn't want to leave Utah, and so I guess his opportunities to act are limited unless it's, just community theater. But, and I'm pretty sure that's all he does. But I think he looks back on this as what he thought would be his big chance because of his tremendous passion for the craft. And then it ended up being this joke. And I don't think he finds it all that funny.
Well, and it harkens back to what I said. You get these crazy director-producer types who, as the documentary said, were just cranking out script after script after script, not really caring about the content, so that they could rapidly produce movies to put their names on. And, oh, hi, boys. And there's a cost that is paid by the people who acted in these trash movies. They're led to believe that, oh my God, someone wants to put me on camera, how cool, not having the understanding or the naivete that they were just fodder for trash films, and their future careers or their aspirations just weren't factored in.
Yeah. And as the actress who played the daughter says in the documentary, she missed out on jobs because of this movie, even though it's not on her resume.
Wasn't there a period of time she was outright denying that she had anything to do with this film?
Yes. Could you blame her? Yes, she said it's not on her resume. She doesn't talk about it, but there have been roles that she missed out on because whoever was responsible for casting her, the director or whomever for whatever she auditioned for, found out. Lo and behold, she was in Troll 2. So we can't have that mess.
Well, and a piece of it lies in the fact that it is the director's job to get the best from their actors possible. And the director of this film had no business directing humans to do anything. And so what she would put forth on this film is far from her best and just plain not good. And so that really would stymie her chances of going on to a bigger, better career. Unlike, say, Jennifer Aniston, who was in the first Leprechaun movie, and she went on to monstrous success. It's a matter of finding your actors, getting the best from them, and hoping that the movie lands, which in this case it generally did not.
Well, okay, let me just say this. Leprechaun is not a good movie. It's a guilty pleasure, I'll say. I think the first two are enjoyable. Jennifer Aniston did well with the material she was given. And
she was very creative with a hot pile of garbage.
While it wasn't, though I don't think the script, come on now. The script wasn't great, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as this. But it was shot in, I think, 91? Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't released until 93. It didn't come out until right before Friends. And it has been said that there is a strong belief that if Leprechaun had come out when it was supposed to, she never would have gotten Friends.
Well, good for her. Happy timing.
Which I think is probably true. But another thing that comes up on the podcast a lot is when actors who get their first big breaks in movies like Leprechaun or whatever, and then go on to great success, and then stump their noses at these other movies, which I don't like. I don't like that Jennifer Aniston refuses to talk about Leprechaun. I think that she could just look back on it and laugh at it and say, it was a time in my life when I wasn't getting a lot of roles. It was my first movie. I was very excited at the time. I realize now that it's bad, and I see it as a stepping stone because I've gone on to do some really good work.
Well, and an actor who's been great about that is actually Sandra Bullock. The year that she got her big nominations for The Blind Side, the same year she got a Razzie Award for another film, and she took it in stride, and she actually threatened to read the whole script of the Razzie-winning film at the Razzie Awards. As a tongue-in-cheek. She's always had a good sense of humor about it. But like with Jennifer Aniston, she is successful. She has been successful for a long time. So it's okay to look back and be like, well, I remember those days. Because it's not like she's not going to make it now.
Right.
So I think your point is well made.
And I just don't like that she's... It's specifically whenever she's doing an interview... The interviewer is, told beforehand, don't ask about Leprechaun. Which I don't like that. What I don't like is people who don't or refuse to acknowledge where they came from.
I mean, listen, it was all part of the journey.
Yeah. I mean, you can say, I don't think my first book is particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it when I was in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of it because I set out to write a novel. I finished the novel. I sold the novel. People have read the novel. The novel's gotten good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I see that as a stepping stone. If I hadn't gotten that novel published, I wouldn't have gotten future works published and read by other people. So, again, the point that I've made several times already is never forget where you came from, or don't look down your nose at early works, because everything is a stepping stone that leads from A to B to C.
Absolutely
And
correct.
you wouldn't get to C without B. So,
Nope. I consider myself a relatively funny person, but you don't find out what's funny until you bomb about 500,000 jokes. You know, you have to take that time to find out what sticks, what doesn't. What did it feel good to write? What felt like crap to write? What do people like and what do people not like? And it's all part of the overall experience. So I think you're tapping into something very, very serious and real right there.
I don't deal with compliments very well. I think, did we just miss Seymour Credence was talking about her legacy or whatever the fuck you want to call it?
It was something, yeah, it was something, how are you, my pretty little flower? He had that crazy prosthetic on his face.
Oh, God.
Wait and be patient.
Yes, everybody's being turned into trees.
Well, according to Best Worst Movie, this movie was a loving swipe at vegetarians. So I think it was, is it a husband-wife duo or a brother-sister? I kind of forget. It might be...
Husband-wife. Yeah, the wife, well, from what I understand, the wife wrote the script because at the time, so many people she knew were switching to vegetarianism.
Mm-hmm.
And she was getting tired of hearing about it.
Motivation is motivation. There you go.
But granted, at that time, a lot of people were switching to more healthier diets and going vegetarian. So while I wouldn't say this is necessarily a commentary on what was going on at the time, there is some truth to it, you know. Then later it became veganism, which I thought The Simpsons did a really good take on.
Well, you know, it's funny. One of my closest friends on earth, he's a chocolatier here in Provincetown, Paul John Kierans, runs a chocolate company called Chocolatism, and he himself is vegan. And so, of course, I'm going to start with dirt and twigs, that's what you eat, dirt and twigs. But the fact is, he's an amazing friggin' cook. I find that if I'm going to do vegetarian or veganism, Indian food's the way to go. Because you don't eat the seasoning, the spicing, you don't even miss the fact that there's no meat in it.
Hello, beautiful.
Yeah, because you're too busy thinking about the diarrhea.
Well, listen, sometimes all you need is a distraction. Credence looks like a precursor to Madonna.
No, don't even go there. No, no.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to want to get me. But look at all the necklaces, and it's kind of like a test plate before they were like, maybe she should have nice teeth. You're sitting over there pissed at me, huh?
No.
Are you lying?
No.
Okay. Now, here's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. If I were anywhere near some kind of church gathering or sermon situation, and I saw like a cluster of people doing something that looked even remotely pseudo-religious or culty, I would be on my little skateboard the hell out of that county the opposite direction.
Yeah. This is very Children of the Corn.
This whole thing, and like when your church is in the basement of an auto shop, it doesn't help. Like, look at this. These, like, what kind of rent assistance do these people need? This is just unthinkable.
Oh, God. Well, see, I think you're making the biggest mistake you can possibly make with this movie and movies like it is you're trying to make sense.
Well, I don't know if it's trying to make sense or just sort of looking at it and being like, what would I do? And my answer is run the fuck away. Oh, God. I mean, for this friggin' building. And you're having a little... This is their town hall. Can you friggin' believe it?
I can.
Oh, God. Nilbog.
I would be... Oh. I would be... if somebody had said that this was also meant to be a commentary on Scientology, I would easily believe that.
Now, Scientology, that is an interesting topic. I actually have a friend who was a performer out in LA, super LGBT ally and supportive of women and supportive of individualism. And they would face frequent and almost constant attacks from the Scientologists out in that area.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah, I'm not going to name them in case in case this gets heard. But they faced an absolute onslaught for their support of individuals and individualism. Mm-hmm. This person came and visited us out on the East Coast one day, and first question out of their mouth was, what is the presence of Scientologists out here? And at first I thought they were joking, and I realized that they were quite serious. So if ever you're out in the LA area or Clearwater, Florida, just don't be there. Just don't be there. That Scientology stuff is really just an incredibly unthinkable method of existence. Grab them by the face! So,
believe me, I've read the books. I've seen the documentaries. I am very well versed on the horrors of Scientology. Mm-hmm. And why Will Smith is the only black member, I don't understand. But I don't understand. That's we're not going to go there.
Yeah, it's just the concept, the way it instills all of its credo, just not my speed. We'll say that.
Nice and creamy.
Ugh. What the hell is that? What, multiple flavors?
It's sherbet, I would say. Oh my God. That sounded so pornographic. Love ice cream.
In my case, I'm like, oh, I wish somebody would talk to me like that. Oh, God. I don't know which one to have sex with first.
Oh my God. Oh, no.
Oh, it's group thing, huh?
There's so much wrong with this scene that I never noticed before.
I watched the new Willy Wonka earlier today with my roommate. And there's something just as horrendously sexually assaultive in the squirrel scene, where it pins Veruca Salt down. I was like, oh, those squirrels are going to bang that child.
Oh, no.
They were giving me ice cream so they could eat me later.
An act of imagination. A bit morbid, isn't he?
It's just so weird. Like, don't these goblins know that you can walk into any Stop and Shop and just pick up a bag salad for $3.95? And instead, they're turning
where's the fun in
people
that?
from meat into plant slime. I don't know.
At my house.
We had car trouble. We'll be leaving this evening.
Okay.
I every time I think of bag salad, I think of
I must be leaving now.
I loathe to admit I used to watch The Talk on a regular basis, but I did. And Aisha Tyler shared a story once where she said she had gotten a bag salad for a dinner party or something, and she immediately upon opening the bag, a snake slithered out.
Yeah, that's one of the kits that includes protein.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually it's dead by the time it's in the salad, but it's a DIY element. Think of it as HelloFresh. But Aisha Tyler is one of my favorite comedians of all time.
She's very funny and she's very intelligent.
I saw her in Boston, where she did, I think, a 90-minute performance, and the audience was just loving her so much, and she had such a good time, she tacked another 30 minutes onto it. She can do no wrong. Apparently she's a wicked gamer, too.
She's also very smart for leaving The Talk.
Now, I can't say I ever watched the show very much. Did it go down a bad route, or did The Talk, go squirrely?
Well, if you read Leah Remini's book, which also goes a lot into Scientology, she talks about her experiences on The Talk, which were nightmarish. And a lot of it had to do with Sharon Osbourne having to be Queen Bitch and ruling everyone, even though it was Sarah Gilbert's show. It was her brainchild. She was executive producer. But Sarah does not like confrontation, does not like to make waves. So she would just go along with anything Sharon said. And if I were to guess, because the show kind of went by way of The View in that it became a revolving door of hosts.
Yeah.
I would say it was because people just couldn't take Sharon anymore. And now Sharon is gone. It seems they have a peaceful, harmonious gathering with Jerry O'Connell and somebody else, some other guy, some actor. But I think there's 4 people on there now. But it would amaze me that there would be people who would get this job and you would think that they would be beside themselves because they were washed up has-beens who really didn't have anything going on, a la Marie Osmond. And then they would leave after a brief stint.
Well, didn't Marie Osmond went on to some diet plan thing, didn't she? She lost a bunch of weight.
I think she's been a spokesperson for Weight Watchers or no, that might not be. I think that's Oprah's doing Weight Watchers. She's she does ads for one of those, but she's been doing those for a while.
She got that weight loss money.
I don't know.
Jesus, if they pay me for that.
Well, all of the weight that she lost went right into her lips.
Really, they just put her in a squeeze and just blah. She's looking like something out of Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of lips, this poor bastard just had this hunk of wood torn out of his mouth, and now he's coughing up green stuff.
Hurry before that crazy lady comes back.
Hurry, I'm a tree.
Well, if you just had a hunk of wood pulled out of your mouth and you're coughing up green stuff, you got a problem.
Sounds like date night to me.
With Usher.
Oh, jeez. That's so funny. Just stand there and look annoyed while holding a mug. Some of the makeup effects are actually kind of gnarly.
Why did you stop? I don't feel so good. You gotta do it, man. Grab hold of the pot and pull with all of your strength.
Here comes evil Madonna.
Stop it.
Oh, no.
Bitch slap into bed. Honestly,
The
if
one
somebody
with the
could
yellow-
backhand me across the room into a bed, I'd invite them to do it on occasion.
Okay, you're revealing so much.
I'm just
And this
thrilling.
is just your first time out.
Well, I mean, the fact is, I typically host for crowds of 30 to 250 people, and if you want to keep it interesting, you gotta get friggin' weird.
I think you and Tony are going to get along swimmingly. I really do. We have
Here's
a
the thing about
chainsaw.
her. She likes her men cut.
I could go either way.
Right? Attention's attention. Help me out.
Now we have a woodpecker sound effect. What is that?
I just love that he's
But-
giggling.
I know, it's so fucking weird. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that one, I think it was the one in the yellow shirt. He said that the makeup effects people nailed his sneakers into the pot
Oh,
that
interesting.
he's supposed to stand in. And they were his sneakers. They didn't ask him.
Oh, no!
They didn't give him replacements. They were just like, okay, we're going to fuck up your sneakers. And I think he was, yeah. And then when the yellow shirt got fucked up, they were like, okay, go get another yellow shirt. And he
Go
was
home
completely,
naked.
he was completely puzzled because he was like, don't you have a costume person to do that?
Not for $100,000 in the country, we don't.
No.
Do you have any
Well-
idea how much it costs to rent that piano?
Probably about as much as it costs for this public domain
That's what I'm
music.
saying.
But I don't know what. Well, I mean, because of everything that we have at our disposal, a la Amazon, the fact that he couldn't find a plain yellow T-shirt is just kind of funny to me. It's funny to think about in 1989 that this poor kid couldn't just go to a Walmart or something like that and couldn't find and
Well,
find
that's
a-
because everything was designed like Trapper Keeper in the 80s.
meant to fall apart.
Yes, sir. And all of it looks terrible. This looks like... Jesus Christ. I don't know. I just... Anything culty or churchy, I'm like, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. No. If they're fucking...
Joshua, I've had enough. I'm
If
sick
they're
of this. I want you to go to your room immediately.
monsters or goblins or whatever, what is with this hoedown music?
Oh, did you not know?
No. tell
No,
me.
monsters love hoedowns. It's like their thing.
Oh.
Of course.
Where's the jug with the triple X's on it?
You're looking for triple X jugs?
Always.
Not so itty bitty committee. There you go. Itty bitty titty committee.
Grandpa! Grandpa Seth! Answer me!
It sounded like he flubbed his line a little bit there. It sounded like
practice makes
Grandpa
perfect, right?
says.
I
Oh,
actually,
please.
in my years of doing haunted houses and stuff, I always noticed there's a weird preponderance of country living and sort of hillbilly bumpkins. Oh, damn. In a horror context, a lot of horror always takes place in the country.
Well, because it's remote, and there's always that fear of what the inhabitants of these kinds of rural areas are like, and that's why there are so many of those inbred family type movies like The Hills Have Eyes and Wrong Turn and shit like that.
Oh, damn.
I love how she took a breath to like continue to scream and it just cut. She was preparing to let loose again and they were like, no, that's enough.
No, the actual filming, there was actually 72 minutes of top-of-the-line shrieking, and they just had to pick the best bit.
Oh, there it goes.
See, more of the 72 minutes. No, that was my masturbating hand. I gotta grow it back.
She can't even thread a needle anymore.
I know. How is she supposed to rub the crazy raisin without it? Oh, keep your manicure on lock, girl.
Now, this is probably something that I should have looked up, but I didn't. But the ending that is in the movie was actually a dream sequence, but they ran out of money.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was supposed to be a dream sequence when Joshua finds them eating his mother.
I had no idea.
That was not the ending. What the original ending was supposed to be, I don't know if it was ever said. But yeah, that was definitely a dream sequence.
I love that the grandpa shows up with this fire extinguisher. I'm going to create some confusion with this. How about creating confusion by being alive again out of friggin' nowhere, dude? What? You were dead.
Oh god. Now they're clapping.
I love how the whole family is like, you know what? Maybe the kid's right.
Hurry, let's put some fuel on the
They're only upset because none of them have rhythm.
Oh yeah, well.
Get out, kid. You'll never be able to stop us. And as for you, old man, go back to your kingdom of shadows.
Kingdom of Shadows.
I fully suspected this man was going to turn into a werewolf at any moment.
Well, he definitely has that look.
Right?
will
Just
say
feral
that.
Beastmaster thing.
Oh yes.
Oh, there's Grandpa dying again.
Oh.
Made a bit of a habit out of that. Give him the old dick twist.
Another thing too, getting back to the ending and the interview with the actress who played the mother in the Best Worst Movie documentary, when she was saying how amazing his performance was and how heartbreaking it was, and she said, when I watched it, I really believed that you'd lost your mother, and she was getting very emotional. She was getting very emotional.
I take great pleasure in the fact that my life is not her life. How's that for politically coded? Glad I'm not her, damn. This priest is on fire.
All right, settle.
Sorry. Felt like a singing moment. Oh my god, it's Danny DeVito. Ugh, Zelda Rubinstein looks like shit.
Oh.
Now, this actor with the crazy hat, the general store operator, I guess in Best Worst Movie, he confessed that he was completely bugged out of his mind on drugs the entire time he was in this film.
He smoked a lot of pot.
Is that it?
That's what he said, yeah. But he also has some mental issues and was, I think he filmed his scenes like on a day trip or something along those lines, but he was definitely institutionalized.
Oh, geez.
And he did say that filming this was a bit of a head trip because he really didn't know which way was up. I think that paired with the nonsensical script and all of the Mary Jane, I can't believe he wasn't, you know. Oh my God. I can't believe he wasn't in solitary confinement permanently.
Oh, yikes! Really?
No, I was kidding.
Oh, jeez! I was like, good lord!
I was saying because of the mishmash of all of this craziness that is the movie, is the script, and is the pot that he was smoking in abundance, one would assume that he would end up in solitary confinement.
Or living here in Provincetown with the
would.
rest of us. There's a solid chance of that too.
Yeah. I know you guys like characters.
Well, it's a wonderful little place. It's a great place to go if you're not a great fit for the rest of the world. As most of us here are not. Ooh, now she's sexy. She looking like baby Stevie Nicks. Let's get it. Look at her growing knockers out of nowhere. Good for her.
Oh. Why are you even looking at that mess?
It's on my screen. What can I do?
There are sound cues in this score that I've heard in like a million fucking horror movies. That have just it's probably library music, but I know that some of it is original music, but that it kind of sounds like metallic. It's like a metallic sounding ching kind of sound that you keep hearing. I've heard that in so many different movies.
I mean, the soundtrack for this movie just makes me think of going on a bender on NES.
Speaking of soundtracks, there actually is a soundtrack that you can buy.
Oh, I don't know.
On CD and vinyl.
I don't know if I'd spend my money on this.
That has become a thing now with horror movie scores being released on vinyl.
Oh,
and they I don't collect vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a record player, but it really took. And plus, I always say that the main reason to collect vinyl is so you can admire the artwork, which I clearly cannot. But it took everything I had not to get the new 3 LP Freddy's Nightmares soundtrack.
Really?
From Terror Vision Records.
Oh my God, I just remembered what's coming in this scene.
The popcorn.
Well, I love how it's like, oh, I don't want to be a homo. Let me wave around this corn cob for a hot minute.
Well, there's a lot of contradictions here as far as homosexuality and homophobia. And this music is so USA Up All Night Skinamax bullshit.
I mean, I don't know about you. I'm turned on. Let's go.
Oh. This sounds like really bad stripper music that you would see like on a sitcom.
Like stripper 101.
This is how you work the pole, ladies. And next we're going to teach you how to dance.
I wonder what she's up to now these days. This actress, I feel like regardless of her performance or what she portrayed herself as, she's probably a really good time to hang out with.
Or she's probably really crazy.
Well, no, Mom's already got that covered, so... Oh, yeah, corn weapon. I know where that corn cob's gonna end up.
I just can't believe that Joshua turned out normal after this movie and went on to do other movies.
Well, wasn't it, who was the little kid that was in Pet Sematary and Freddy 5, I think it was? Actually had
Nightmare.
no idea he was filming a horror movie.
Yeah, that was Miko Hughes.
Yeah, Nico, he was told that he was just playing games and he loved it. He thought, oh, we're playing games, I like this. Only years later to find out he was actually in some really big blockbuster horror films.
That might have been the case with Pet Sematary. I think he was old enough to know what was going on during the New Nightmare.
Gotcha.
But he was also doing stuff on Full House too. So
I'm sorry. I'm going to have nightmares about sexy corn for at least a couple days after this.
What's the matter?
are you sure you mean nightmares and not wet dreams?
I'm trying to use euphemisms to be polite, Brandon.
Well, no problem.
Butter my corn!
Oh, God.
This might be the best sex scene in any film of all film history.
Better than the pool scene in Showgirls?
Oh, that's a good
Berkeley
contender.
flapping like a fish.
I love Flipper.
Nothing's happening.
They're doing Hanukkah all wrong.
Raise your hands. Concentrate harder. Grandpa said, come to us.
The man has died twice. Give the dead guy a break.
See, this is where Toni Collette got her inspiration for the seance in Hereditary.
Don't you dare. You leave Tony alone.
Oh my God, I was so ridiculously kidding.
I know.
I love Toni Collette. She's one of the best actresses ever.
But here's the thing. There's never a circumstance in film where you want Toni Collette as your mother. Sixth Sense, Hereditary, United States of Terror. Like, she's a problematic mother.
Please come and help us.
But that said, a wonderful actress.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one correct answer.
Okay.
How do you feel about Muriel's wedding?
You're going to jump through the screen and punch me in the face. I've never
You've
seen
never
it.
seen Muriel's wedding.
I've never seen it. I know. I have to catch up. I have a lot of winter to do it.
Okay, that was the wrong answer.
I know. It was wonderful. It was the best.
Okay, now you're lying to me.
I failed the shit out of this quiz. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh my God. How would Tony react if he found out?
Did you just say he? Oh, Tony.
Tony. Oh God, no, Tony, the host, not Tony Collette. I am reasonably certain she's a female.
I think Tony likes Muriel's wedding, but I don't think don't think he likes it as much as he ought to.
But like, she's Australian. Like, isn't she their like national hero or something?
No, that's Kylie Minogue.
Oh, yep. That's right. See, here's the thing. You look at the size of the goblins, and they're, about the size of your average 6 or 7-year-old. Why not kick them in the face?
Because they're little people in there.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not talking on a practical real life level, but if something is trying to eat me and it is small,
well, that's like, that's like Chucky 101.
Have you seen these clips of when the mom picks the doll up and says, "Talk to me, damn it, or I'm going to throw you in the fire," and then they cut in their own audio?
No.
Oh, don't you worry. I'll send it to you after this podcast. It's amazing. Why does this kid look wet?
I don't want to know.
That is a slimy child, and I'm not...
I don't want to know. There's already been some suggestion of pedophilia.
No, that was just the dead grandpa trying to get a hand on his kid, but it goes through anyway, so it doesn't really factor in.
There are certain things that you shouldn't examine.
True enough. Like this house you woke up in, you little creep. What are you doing? All right, whatever maid service they have is absolute garbage, and they should negatively Yelp them. Yeah, that's the thing. Whenever regular humans are in the domiciles of the goblins, they're always sweaty. Ugh.
Well, that's because fucking Credence likes it hot. That's how she was able to pop all the corn.
My name is Credence. It's ancient Gaelic for moist.
Oh.
No one reacts well to that word. The same guy with the same mask again.
See, this is why they ran out of money, is because they spent too much time filming this fucking padding bullshit.
I mean, I think it's fair. I mean, I've been known to run out of my own house when I get freaked out by something, so the hell he's doing in some ancient church castle home thing that he doesn't know, and he's still just hanging out, checking it out?
What in your house freaked you out so much that you felt the need to run the streets?
So, I was writing a short horror story, and a lot of the stories I write are based on, sometimes loosely based, very closely based on, oh, hey, dead grandpa's back, third time's a charm, based on actual experiences. So this one particular story I was writing brought me right back to a certain moment in my life, and I realized, oh, yeah, tonight's a great night to go out because being in the house anymore is not an option.
Do you understand?
I understand. And now?
Scared the hell out of myself, essentially. So I was like, yeah, that was great. We're getting out. Bye now.
Stonehenge, magic stone. The goblin's magic power.
I have a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah.
What was the experience?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in future times. But I am somebody who would admit to coming across something that didn't seem quite normal. It's more along the lines of paranormal. And so in coming across this, having this experience, I had to go back and think about it while writing, and it's very easy to get right back in the same headspace you were in when you were having the encounter.
Mm.
And so sort of recounting this, it was like, holy shit, cut and run, we're all set, let's go socialize, and wouldn't end up coming back to the apartment until I knew my roommate was back at the house.
Why is this movie not over?
I don't know.
94 minutes is way too long.
I think it would be exciting to go home and have a whole welcoming party, wouldn't you?
Those sounded like stock sounds of a
Please, let's talk.
Jaguar.
We're all humans here.
Dying in a massive pile of popcorn. It's how I plan to go.
No more.
Oh, he's fucked out. I really gotta wonder if that scene was intentionally meant to be funny.
Aw, she went back to not sexy anymore. Or less sexy, I should say.
No, I think you were right the first time.
Oh, so the goblins speak English now.
Joshua is alone right now. Let's go.
Is it just me, or does it seem like George Hardy's character has been absent for like a third of the movie?
I'm leaving.
I mean, the times were different back then.
I have to do this one.
You kicked your kid out of the house in the morning, you let him back in about dinner time, and
It's only the power
did your best to keep the lights on, I guess.
to defeat the goblins.
Where are you from originally?
Eastern Connecticut. Eastern Connecticut. All right, so this will be the third time Grandpa's died.
What were you going to do?
Ugh, hand you some Abreva.
Oh no.
Oh, those lips are gnarly.
Ugh. Yeah, that scream was real believable. Ah! Get off!
He's just pissed because a bunch of people his size are kicking his ass. Can we have a little more drama from your face, please? Thank you.
See, well, this kind of happened when I was doing the Pieces commentary. It's like you can only make fun of a really bad movie for so long, and then it's like you're running out of steam.
I don't know. I'll keep going.
Well, that's good, because I don't know how much.
Well, if it's any consolation, what do we have? We have about a little less than 10 minutes left.
That's 10 minutes too long.
Yes, but now he has a double-decker bologna sandwich, so that fixes everything.
Mm.
Your thoughts on bologna? Go.
It's fine.
Okay, cool. I know some people are like, I don't eat pink slime. I'm like, I'll eat anything slow enough to catch.
Well, I've never had like the Oscar Mayer, but I've had. I like bologna from like a deli, a fresh cut bologna from a deli.
Yeah, like the legit brand, not the processed stuff.
Yeah, no, not no
Mortadella with less spice.
Hmm.
Oh my god, it looks like they just interrupted a music video.
Mm. Don't say a Madonna music video.
I'll go light on your queen. I actually, fun story involving Madonna. A couple friends of mine in town, we were celebrating where there was a Madonna-themed party. So there's this big place called Boat Slip, and it hosts what we call tea dance, an afternoon drinking and social dance situation. It was Madonna-themed tea. So unfortunately, my friend's husband got ill, and we had to take him to the emergency room. But my buddy didn't have enough time to take off his Madonna costume and makeup. So there I am, sitting in an emergency room with my buddy who is dressed all Madonna-themed while his husband's in being treated. And yeah, that's just kind of the life we live out here.
Well, which era?
It was sort of a boy blend of multiple. I think it was a little more along the lines of Madam X than anything else. Ooh, that face. God, I hope she won some awards for something later in her life.
I would say no. So George Hardy really did it for you when you first saw this?
Say again?
George Hardy really did it for you when you first saw this?
He was cute. He's got that dumb, apish thing about him.
Oh. I wouldn't say dumb apish thing.
Kind of the forward brow, the strong jawline.
I have to pass by the office. I need to go home for a while.
I'll come with you.
Joshua and I will wait for you at home.
And they narrowly survived Nilbog, or did they?
I can't believe we actually talked over Joshua's realization that Nilbog was goblin spelled backwards.
Have you ever been known to just haul off and pull a bowl of apples out and then just go to town on one?
Yes, absolutely, every day.
I think I'll take a shower.
No, I have not.
Like, I'll grab an apple and eat it, but she made a whole production pulling those things out of the fridge. Ooh, copyright infringements all over the wall.
You gotta wonder how MGM got away with releasing this with all that stuff. I doubt they went ahead and got clearance.
They might have had, or, you know, they knew that the movie was going to be garbage and not land, so there's that.
Well, MGM didn't release it initially. MGM just released the DVD. It was released to video by some very small distributor. I can't even remember the name of.
Uh-oh.
As a kid, one thing that was always glaringly obvious, unfortunately, to me, during the scene when Joshua comes down to see his mother's partially eaten corpse on the table, is there's a very prominent nipple.
Come on, give us some titty! And all of a sudden, a bear bursts through the wall and just eats the child. Twist ending, nobody saw coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of locks on that door.
I mean, it's suburbia. Come on. You need the extra protection. There's a lot of Girl Scouts packing heat.
How do you think they make such high sales? Girl Scouts with guns. Oh, geez. Mommy better get to the clinic and get whatever the hell that is checked out.
Let me know when you see the nipple. So it must be noted.
Titty, 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 titty.
Oh,
Here, titty, titty, titty. The apples were laced. Oh my God, Mom's on the kitchen table getting her salad tossed. It's funny because she's a plant, you know? There's two full-blown nipples.
Oh, God.
But they're green, so I guess they're just watermelons now.
Well, that's probably how they got away with a PG-13 for this, because the nipples are green.
They're cantaloupe. Stop being disgusting.
Do you want some, Joshua?
Oh.
Fierce puppetry.
That noise right there, that's the cue that I was talking about. I've heard this cue in so many different movies.
I can't think of where I've heard it, but it's a very familiar sound.
Yeah, because you can't think of where you've heard it because you've heard it so many times before. It's in so many different movies.
What's it called? The Wilhelm scream? It's like that?
No, the Wilhelm scream is an actual scream. That's like a canned scream, but that's a sound cue that's used in a lot of different horror movies.
I always get so excited, like nostalgic. Oh my God, Wilhelm scream! Yeah, like it's something I did.
Oh, yeah. Me and Jed have spoken about the Wilhelm scream. He's another one of my co-hosts, but yeah, I have heard the Wilhelm scream more times than I would like to admit, but I've noticed that I've heard the female Wilhelm scream more than the male Wilhelm scream.
Oh, really? Because I'll usually focus in on the male Wilhelm faster than the female.
That was not a lot of credits.
Well, it's not a credits list. It's more a list of people who need to be goddamn slapped.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think they got the English wrong.
Yeah, but being that I've seen so many horror movies and I watch them so regularly, I often hear a canned female scream. And what I never could understand is why they felt the need to do that. Why is it so difficult to just get some intern and say, all right, go into this booth and just scream your head off?
It's a very fair question to ask.
Instead, no, we're going to use this scream that's been used in 10,000 other movies and is immediately recognizable.
I can't say I understand the logic, but I hope she gets a royalty every time it's used. She's probably been dead for years, but you know.
Yes, exactly.
So you survived the movie. How do you feel?
Not great.
About the movie, your life choices, dealing with
I don't like myself. I don't like myself very much right now.
Well, listen, at least you can like yourself better than the cast and crew of this film. So there's that.
There's that, yeah. It's something.
Well, you survived Troll 2. How you feel? There we are.
How do you feel?
You know, so the tricky part about horror viewing for me is that I just get excited that somebody wants to tell a story. Now, there's a solid chance that the story being told is garbage or its execution is garbage, but I find that a lot of people go into films almost with a checklist, like I better be scared, or I better experience that, or they better do this. But these people aren't telling the story. They paid money to watch somebody else do it. So I try to keep a bit of an open mind. So do I feel slighted and that it was inappropriate for this director and his wife to take on this project? 100%. But I kind of have to hand it to the cast. They did the best with what they were given, and it's a lot of non-actors or unknown actors getting their shot. So more power to them.
That's fair.
But yeah, the movie is unforgivable, if that makes you feel better.
Well, yeah. Well, you did say in so many words that you felt sexually violated by The Room, so...
that movie... Yeah, no, it's... There are only two films ever that I am, like, angry exist. And one is The Room, and the other is Birdemic Shock and Terror.
And I can't believe there's no Rob Zombie movie.
I like his stuff. I know you hate Rob, but I like Rob Zombie stuff. Is some of it weaker and not as great as others? Absolutely. But in the end, I'm happy to check out what he's putting out there.
What about Eli Roth?
Eli Roth is fun. It took me a long time to really get into like Hostel, because I felt it was very much just torture, porn, gratuity. But there's certain elements, if you look hard enough, there's some really interesting through lines and storylines that are hidden within those movies that are kind of worth paying attention to.
I can't say that I have a love-hate relationship with that movie because I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
There are things about it that I appreciate. There are a lot of things that I hate about it, namely the homophobic dialogue, of which there is an abundance of.
But that kind of falls in with any cluster. And this is an interesting topic to actually jump into for a hot second. Anytime you get a cluster of men on screen who are presumed heterosexual, so much, at least in film and storytelling, of being a man is proving your manliness or proving your heterosexuality. So, it's almost like they have to publicly broadcast, oh, we're not gay, or that one's closest to being gay because he's not manly like us. And it's kind of this weird and I think unnecessary trait that we see in real life and in storytelling. Group of men have to prove they're not homosexual even though nobody asked. And you see it a lot anytime involving a group of men generally.
Well, if you're setting up characters who the audience is supposed to feel something for, that's not the way to go about doing
Absolutely.
it.
No, you're absolutely correct with that. I found, I don't know if you've seen Hostel 2 by any chance.
Unfortunately, I have.
I actually really liked it.
And I did a commentary for it.
Say again?
And I did a commentary for it.
I really liked that they decided to put the power and the struggles in the hands of women instead of men. And I don't know, I just found, the deceitfulness of the person that trailed them into the movie. They think she's a good guy, then she's not, and they think that this woman is weak, but she's actually incredibly powerful. They played around with some interesting themes. Again, not a perfect execution, but there's enough to pay attention to, which I appreciated.
Well, there is some full frontal, which is good, male nudity. And when she cuts the guy's dick off toward the end, you do see shaft, which is also good.
Sometimes you gotta send a message.
But I think a lot of what's in Hostel 2 was his attempt at saying, oh no, I'm not homophobic, when I don't think that message came across. And I say this in my commentary for it, this goes to show how, let's just say, not as intelligent as Eli Roth thinks he is.
You know what? I can give you credit to that. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, no, I didn't even break my point yet. So
oh, shit.
slow your roll. But in one of the commentary tracks on the DVD, he says, I did not want to make a sequel to Hostel. What I wanted to make was a continuation of the story. Grab a dictionary. That is the definition of a sequel.
Point made.
God.
Listen, sometimes they just have access to camera equipment and money. Maybe not so much a dictionary. That's how the ring got made.
Cabin Fever I like because it's so fucking stupid. Hostel, we already went over that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought Knock Knock was fucking painful.
I haven't seen Knock Knock, but if you're looking for some positive, useful contribution on the part of Eli Roth, his history of horror is actually pretty interesting.
That's one thing that annoys me about him is he thinks he knows everything about horror. Get the fuck out of here. But I do like that he has a very strong appreciation for the genre. He likes a lot of obscure movies. Mother's Day is one of his favorite horror movies, which he gets big points for that. I just don't think that he should. I don't think that he should write or direct. I've seen movies that he's produced that have turned out pretty well. Clown is an exceptionally good
Clown was wonderful. I love that movie.
Yeah, that was really, really good.
Hey, some people are better guides than they are, field workers. What are you going to do?
Exactly. So, yeah, just produce, offer some guidance here and there. Just don't put pen to paper. Don't yell action.
And stay away from the camera equipment, sir.
Yes, you're good. There you go. But, okay. I think we're going to put a big fat bow on this one.
Amazing.
Any final
thank
thoughts?
you so much for having me. I had a blast doing this, man. This was just awesome.
Well, I'm glad to have you. And I look forward to you coming back for more.
I get a second run. Holy crap.
I definitely think you, me, and Tony are going to have a lot of fun together because the two of you have a lot in common, especially your sense of humor.
Oh, he's a stumbling train wreck too?
Well, I don't say that to his face.
But I can say it about myself so we can infer it and everyone's safe in the conversation.
But he does identify as a bear too, so you got that.
Oh, I know. That's a whole other topic we can talk about. I have the body of a bear, but I have the mind of a drag queen, so I'm just all over the friggin' place.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you very much for joining me, Austin. This was a blast for me as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to say thank you to everybody for listening. And until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.